Welcome to the 2024 Kasparov Chess Foundation University Cup. This is the 4th edition of this event. This is an annual event, and we're going to be doing some live commentary here for the next 2 days. This is an online team event. This is mainly for universities around the world. They have been given a chance to put forth their best team of 4, and those teams are now going to battle it out over the next 9 rounds. So it's going to be a 9-round team Swiss. The way it works is every round the teams are going to play against each other in boards of 4. So top board plays top board, board 2 against board 2, and so on. Best out of 4 wins the match, so you need 2.5 points to win a match. If you win a match, you get a match point, which then counts for tournament victory overall. So there's a bunch of strong teams, a bunch of strong players playing this event. I've got a full list of games here in front of me. We're watching actually right now the board 4 of one of the top matches. This is UTRGV as playing as white here. This is their 4th board, Grandmaster Gleb Dudin against Samuel Mate from the Makato Health Sciences University, Sefako Makato. So this first round, these are going to be some pretty big matchups in terms of being actually rather lopsided, as the top teams are all playing way down in this first round. So we have UTRGV. We also have University of Mizzou. That's the second team. They're playing Vit Bhopal. Looks like University from India. We have University Texas Dallas against the University UTRGV E team. Wow, so they've brought a bunch of teams. They even got an E team. Of course, these two schools are 2 of the big competitors in Texas. Yeah, let's see. Okay. National Technical University of Athens also looking very strong. Got Guandarma University, Texas Tech University. So yeah, all the typical suspects playing. Time control is 10+3. So this is just the first round that they've started here. And yeah, this is the first board match, UTRGV against Sefako Makato. Okay, as mentioned, this is well, excuse me, I said board 4. Actually, this is board 1 of this match. Grandmaster Gleb Dudin here is playing board 1. We also have very strong player Grigory Oparin. He's playing board 1 for University of Mizzou. Let me actually bring up his game here. Oparin is playing black in this position. Looks like he is up a pawn and going to be looking to convert this one. He's playing Pridarson Ametanzu from Vit Bhopal. Their average rating is 1496 for this team, but I have a feeling that they're actually much stronger than that. But University of Mizzou definitely the favorites, big favorites in this match, so they should be expecting to win this one. But currently all 4 games still going, and it's 0-0. Oparin here, yeah, again with the extra pawn. Now he's activating his rook. And yeah, definitely going to be trying to convert this one first, bringing the queen side forward. But how is he going to deal with this attack? It's already an interesting moment. Looks like black might have to give his pawn back in some way. But probably he's going to use this opportunity to get something done with his pieces in the meantime. Maybe rook d3, e5. He has these two connected passers in the center. These are, of course, very, very strong. So even if he has to give one pawn back, I think black is still pretty happy here. But yeah, some chances here. Definitely some chances still remaining for white. So b4, rook takes a5, rook b1 played. So it looks like black is hoping to liquidate the entire queen side, especially if he can get two pawns for just this one. Then you'll be left with just these two connected passers, and then white won't have any significant counterplay. But white does get the pawn to b5. Will black be able to win this one? Knight c3, knight d4. Now maybe e5. No, he hits the knight with the rook. And it's very awkward for white to hold on to this b pawn. So it looks like white is going to be having to give this one up. So yeah, definitely looks like still very significant winning chances here for black whenever you're left with these two connected passers in the endgame. You pretty much always have winning chances, whether it's rook endgame, knight endgame, bishop endgame. Only opposite color bishops, wouldn't promise huge winning chances, but even there, protected passers are often your best chance. Okay, so yeah, this one looking tough for white. Definitely is going to have to give up the b pawn soon, and Oparin will be looking to grind this one out. Let's go to board 2 in this match. This is Grandmaster Luka Budusalevich playing against board 2 from this Indian University, Vit Bhopal. Here playing black is Lakshya Hirani. And Luka, of course, big rating favorites. Also seems to be doing okay in this position. He's got a very nice setup here. Black is this isolated pawn on d5. Bishop on g7, definitely not a super impressive piece. So looks like white's pressing here. There are some tactics in the position, though. Of course, this b2 pawn is hanging, and there's also knight c6 hanging as well. So tons of stuff going on. Black plays rook e4, just activating the rook. But big time advantage for white. And yeah, it feels like black's position is just hanging on by an absolute thread. Okay, rook e8, nice trick. If rook takes d5, there's rook e1, followed by mate on the back rank. I can't make moves here, but we can draw arrows. So rook takes, then there's rook e1 check, mate in 2. So white definitely needs to fix his back rank here pretty soon. Maybe a move like f3, but that allows rook e2. Rook takes d5. This feels kind of possible because then white's king will have a square on f2. Yeah, definitely some trickery, but yeah, white has enough time here. So he's pausing at exactly the right moment and does play f3. Yeah, I was wondering about this move. It's definitely not the move you want to play quickly because it allows the rook into your camp. But if rook e2, rook takes d5, leaves black super uncomfortable on this diagonal, then it could be worth going for. So what might happen here? Okay, rook e3 played, so black doesn't want to walk into the pin. But still, after rook takes d5, maybe black just wants to go knight takes b2 in that position. Just save the knight, grab a pawn, keep the game going. Black only has a minute and 20 seconds here, so not a lot of time to hold this endgame. Objectively, it might not be that bad for black, but very difficult with little time to keep playing actively. And white just goes knight d4, so he doesn't want to take on d5 just yet, but still allows knight takes b2, and black takes. Doesn't see a reason not to. Bishop takes c8. Oh, is yet now? Yeah, of course, we've uncovered a bunch of tactics here. So rook is hanging, rook on d1 is hanging as well, but bishop on g6 also hanging. So it looks like white is just winning more material here, or just winning the exchange. So this was nicely calculated by Luca. He saw knight d4. He's hitting this and this. Black doesn't have enough material after knight takes b2, but still tried anyway. Takes rook takes, now rook e1, rook c8. So here white's up a clear exchange. Black has one pawn for it, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. White's rooks have a very easy time activating here. So rook c1, for example, rook e1 can come in at some point as well. So yeah, this looks really, really difficult for black. Knight c4, I guess you got to try just bringing the knight back and trying to close up one of white's rooks. Black trades rooks. I definitely don't think that's going to be enough here for black. Now white has the only rook in the position and should be able to convert. Okay, knight on d4 is hanging right now. I would expect knight e6 just starting to come in. Okay, knight c6, he goes this way. Black goes f4, opening up the second bishop, knight e7 check. He might trade off, but now white has the issue of the dark square bishop being shut off. So quickly he's going to have to, if he takes, then he's going to have to quickly go king f1, bishop g1, and get his bishop in. So he decides just to snag this pawn. And why not? That was basically maybe black's only hope in the position, is that this d pawn could be somewhat annoying. But now rook c7, and yeah, just clean exchange up. I definitely expect white to convert this one pretty smoothly. King f1 now. Just needs to be careful not to walk into any kind of surprising tactics, but really don't see anything happening here for black. King goes to e1, and c3 is covered. So now bishop to g1, going after the b pawn. Yeah, black is just trying to hang on. It is a team event, so there are situations where normally you would maybe resign already as black, but since you're playing for the team, you want to make sure that you give it your best chance, just in case. You never know. Maybe you're able to swindle, once in a million opportunity. You just want to show your team that you're fighting until the very end. Okay, knight c4, but yeah, Luca definitely going to convert this one. Let's go back to Aparin. This is the same match. Looks like he won his game. He got this knight endgame with the two connected passers, h6, knight h7, and this doesn't look super easy to convert, but white walked into the fork with king to g3. Unfortunate move, and f4 ended the game. So yeah, Mizzou here leading by at least 1 point. Let me actually refresh and see. Yeah, we've got some games ended already. UTRGV, their A team, they've already swept 4-0. So their match is over. Yeah, a lot of these first round games finishing very, very quickly. Folks, I did... Slu is playing as well. It looks like they scored 4-0. Folks, I did post a link that is pinned in the Twitch chat. You can use to find links to the standings, the pairings, the games, details on this tournament. I mentioned this was a 9-round Swiss, and there are prizes for different categories, like under 2,200, under 2,000, based on average team rating. I believe they're using FIDE ratings here from what I can see. Yeah, looks like it. And the first team, so the winning team and the best team under 2,200, they get a very special prize. As we see, Luca wins his game. They are actually going to be winning a training session with the legendary world champion Garry Kasparov himself. So huge prize actually up on the line, especially for the top teams and some of the strongest teams under 2,200. They win, they get this training session with Gary himself, which is very, very valuable and big price. So huge opportunity here on the line. Looks like board 3 game in this match is still going on. Let's go to this one. Oh, wow. This game is, in time trouble and still all the pieces on the board. So this is board 3, same match, Mizzou against Vit Bhopal. We have FIDE Master Beloslava Krasteva playing for Mizzou as black in this position. Her opponent is Sushant Agarwal from Vit Bhopal, rated 1,000, but come on, clearly much stronger than 1,000 here. 2,150 according to the Lichess account. So yeah, this position is absolutely messy. Last move played was c5, dc. White takes en passant. Bishop takes c6. Material appears to be equal, but super sharp position. White's pieces look really active. Oh, knight d6, that was a huge move, threatening the queen and knight of 7 smothered mate. So queen takes e6 forced. Now it looks like white might be able to go rook takes c6. And, okay, takes on e4 instead. Okay, both players running on very, very low time here. So, yeah, mistakes are expected, but that did look like just a free piece. Maybe black had some movement in response. But now knight takes e4. Black currently up the exchange here. Mizzou has already clinched the match. Yeah, they're up 3-0. So this is the last game. I think most matches have, effectively just been clinched. Looking through the results, not seeing any upsets so far. And this game just, continues to be messy. Now, h4 played, I think, threatening rook f3. Black goes rook d8. But why not rook f3 now for white? This looks extremely dangerous. Played, and 2 seconds for black, and runs out of time. So nice victory here scored by the Indian team. Unfortunately, it's not going to help them with the match. Still 3-1 victory for Mizzou. Nice little tactical finish here with rook f3 following with knight f7. Okay, let's see. I think there's maybe a couple more games still going in round 1. Got another game here. Also in the end game, and this is FIDE Master Volodymyr Medvedik from Lvov University, going up against Ivan Zelic from University of Zadar. So 22:45 FIDE here as white against 17:63. The FM definitely looking to grind this one out to a win. And it looks totally winning for white. 2 bishops, 2 extra pawns, active king. And looks like, it's just a matter of time here. They are playing with a 3-second increment, so plenty of time to convert any kind of, really straightforward endgames. So expect white to win this one. He could take here, but I think wasn't totally necessary. Bishop could have dropped back as well, but okay, here it's 3 pawns. If black loses h5, then it's really over, but after bishop g4, white can just already run the f pawn, and black's king is way too far. So this should be resigns fairly soon. And f5, f6, and black gives it up, as now they're going to have to lose the bishop for this last pawn, and white is going to have enough material to finish out the game. Let's see if we have any more games remaining. think that might be it. Oh, no, still see a few games here. So let's see what live action we can find. Oh yeah, a couple end games remaining. Okay, so this is Mashao against Kiana Arab. And Kiana's women's candidate master from Arizona State University against University of the Witwatersrand. So it looks like another school out of India. And yeah, interesting endgame. Black with an extra exchange, but white has, of course, a pawn for it and this kind of easy blockade on the dark squares. Clearly some winning chances for black. Like white can easily go wrong here if they allow black's king to enter and break the blockade. But yeah, it's not so easy for black's king to get in. I was wondering why not try king h5 here? Knight f6 check, king h4. That seems like the only chance. Maybe black already tried this. King f5 now. Yeah, it definitely feels like this is this could get quite difficult for white. Even right here, actually, rook b3 is now a threat. Knight h5. No, this feels very shaky for white. This feels like black is about to win a piece with king g4, bishop f7. Yeah, I think maybe white had a fortress earlier, but now it definitely seems to be collapsing. So, okay, king e5. Actually, king e5. White found a very clutch move, defending the bishop. Now, actually, I think it's still lost. I think black just moves the bishop. I would have moved it further, but no, actually, it looks like white has kind of found some stability here. Maybe earlier black had a chance. Bishop f7 here, I think, would have ended the game. The knight has to move, and bishop on f4 ends up hanging. But this one allowed the very nice counterattack. Black tries to keep pieces on the board, still playing for the win, but yeah, it seems like white is holding on. Oh, I missed it. Oh, white blundered. Oh, time trouble, folks. Knight d7, rook d6 check. Takes d7. And that's it. That's extra rook for black. Definitely going to convert this one. And yeah, it's all over. White is playing it out of inertia. Just hoping to save the result for her team, but it's not going to for their team, but it's not going to happen. Let's check out board 3 in this match. This game was also going on, but looks like it ended in a draw. So this is the last game in this match. And important game too, because it's the score is 2-1 in favor of Arizona State University. So this win will clinch the match for them. And yeah, I fully expect black to take this one home. Let's see if we have any more games. Wow, a lot of teams playing. Looks like we have many boards. Most games are done already. I think actually this is the last game of the round, and yeah, black just needs to figure out how to get at white's king. White is still fighting, but yeah, this king should be should be mated soon. And that's it. Now, yeah, black has won the bishop, and the rest is simple. What was the technique there? Technique wasn't particularly too difficult. It's just a matter of bringing the king, rook, and bishop just closer to that enemy king. And yeah, there's just no way for white to hold it. Black brings the king around, and yeah, eventually you just get caught on the back rank, as it happened in the game. And here, any move wins, basically, just leaving white in zugzwang. Bishop check, of course, totally fine as well. Okay, I think that does it for round 1. So it looks like pretty much all the top teams were able to win their matches either 4-0 or 3-1. No huge surprises yet, but yeah, definitely will be some more challenging teams, I'm sure, coming up very, very soon. Okay, got some individual standings, team standings. Believe the next round here, let's see, we'll be starting pretty soon. Looks like actually we got about 10 minutes before the next round. So we might take that chance to actually put up some of the standings and help everyone that's tuning in later figure out what's going on. Alrighty, folks. Actually, I'm going to take a quick break here because it looks like, yeah, we'll have a little bit of time before the next round, supposedly starting 10:45 Eastern time. Yeah, this first round actually, I think, went by very, very fast. A lot of people won quickly. So we'll have a little bit of time. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. And we're going to be doing the first 5 rounds today. So it's a 9-round tournament, 5 rounds today, 4 rounds tomorrow as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys shortly after the break. Alrighty, folks, we are back. Got some standings for you all. So after the first round, a bunch of teams with 1 match point. You can see the top teams there and their average rating: UTRGV, UTD, National Technical University of Athens, Armenian State University Institute, Texas Tech University, St. Louis University, Far Eastern University Manila, Lvov State University, Krakow, UTD, Bucharest, tons and tons of high-level schools. Second round should be starting here very, very soon. I'll bring up some games. Actually, I think we have some boards already available. Actually, big matchup here on the board 3. We have the UTRGV, University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, their C team playing against University of Texas Dallas A team. So these are 2 heavyweight schools, and actually some big, pretty serious pairings here in this board. And it looks like game actually is already underway. Okay, so this is board 1. This is International Master Tianji Wang against Grandmaster Ivan Skitko, playing for UT Dallas. And yeah, actually got a number of games here. Let me bring up the next one too. So this one, yeah, all the games are now getting started. This is Grandmaster David Brodsky for UT Dallas playing against IM Victor Garcia. So 2 GMs against 2 IMs make that 3 GMs. UT Dallas also has Grandmaster Rahul Petty playing against WGM Miley Jade here for UTRGV. And board 4, we've got a couple unrated or untitled players, Barrett Winchell against Ryan Gonzalez. So this board also going to be very, very crucial. But it looks like White's rating, at least according to the Lead Chess, 2530. So pretty serious Lead Chess rapid rating. Okay, let's go to the board 1 game. So this will definitely be a big match right off the bat. UT Dallas, they're definitely the favorites in this one, so they'll hopefully be looking to get a match win, at least 2.5 points, ideally more, so they have better tie breaks later on. So once again, the top team overall, as well as the best team under 2,200, they are fighting for the top prize here, which is a team training session with Garry Kasparov, of course, the legendary world champion. It's a huge prize there up for grabs, both for the top teams and for any teams for whom the average rating is under 2,200. For everyone else, all the other teams are at least under 2,400. Which makes this actually quite competitive. And you don't basically can't have 4 GMs on the team, as some of these schools are capable of putting up. They got to meet the rating requirements. Looks like under 2,400 for the teams. Okay, so looking at this game here, this one started off pretty quietly so far. White has gotten this hedgehog type of structure, where all the pawns are on the 3rd rank, kind of making it difficult for Black to do much here. But in return, okay, White also gets like nice squares. Black gets some space. So Black here, I feel like, is also very, very comfortable and is going to maybe push b5 at some point. So White is basically just kind of playing somewhat of a waiting game here, just maneuvering the knight, e4 and d2. Maybe he's going to go g3, bishop g2 somewhere. And in the meantime, Black is looking to improve the position. So this one I think is still going to develop. At some point, White's going to try to break either with d4 or with b4. D4 definitely seems like the move White should be playing for in the future. But yeah, it goes g3 first, putting the bishop on g2, and then eventually d4 to just trade off that weakness, but also open up White's position. But f5 from Black, so that is a signal that whenever White goes d4, Black is going to respond with e4. And oh, excuse me, guys. Thank you. Here's the board. Thank you for letting me know. And this is the position that we have here. So this is the position that we're looking at. I was talking about this one as being a hedgehog structure. Once again, White has all the pawns on the 3rd rank. And g3, f5 played. So d4 here would be met with e4. Instead, White goes e4 themselves, striking in the center. Knight e7. This is basically a reverse Sicilian kind of structure now, where it's as if White is playing the Sicilian, traded pawns on d5, and now we got this like typical structure. So e takes f5, knight takes f5, played, bishop g2. White's d pawn, though, very, very weak. You could argue that Black's e pawn is also a weakness here, but somehow feels like Black has a lot more space, can definitely play knight d4 at some point and just kind of clog up White's position. So I'm really liking Black's chances here so far, provided the tactics don't somehow punish Black. But yeah, it looks like knight d4, and Black is going to be in some reasonable control here. Let's check out board 2. So this is board 1 of this match. Board 2, we also have Grandmaster against International Master. David Brodsky here playing White against Victor Garcia. And this one was Philidor defense, knight c3, e5, knight f3, knight bd7, and rook to g1. Very aggressive line. White's idea is pretty simple, just wants to go g4, g5. h6 played, g5 anyway. Takes, bishop takes, queen c7, queen d2, b5, a3, bishop b7. Black playing for that queenside counterplay. And white castles queenside, just says, go ahead, a5. I'm not afraid. But white here is spending time, and he's going to have to figure out how to deal with this. This is quite a sharp position because black is ready to push b4 and just get this queenside play going. Then queen comes in, queen b6. If takes, takes. The queen comes to a5. And in the meantime, where exactly is white going to strike? Because black's king is in the center, but at the same time, there are no clear targets. Once black goes b4, then okay, white gets like bishop c4, maybe some pressure against f7, but b4 is going to come with tempo. So white needs to figure out a move here. de5 is very logical. Yeah, I was just going to say to trade and open up the d file while black's king is on e8, but you still need some kind of follow-up here. Maybe h4, bishop h3. I'm not sure if white's fast enough. Takes on f6. Now, I think black would like to go knight takes f6. Oh, but then we might see a sacrifice on b5. So if knight f6, knight takes b5, I think might have been dangerous. I'm actually not sure if that was that dangerous, but in any case, black does go g takes f6, decides to keep the knight on d7, and now long term, it's not obvious where black's king is going to go. So king to b1. I think white just switches gears, has just started playing this one more strategically, and yeah, I'm definitely liking white's position now. Knight can transfer to e2, g3, f5. He's got the light squares. So black plays b4, but it's unclear if black is going to be able to create enough play on the queen side. I think white's going to ignore this one. I don't think we're going to see takes opening up the a file for black's queen. Instead, I think we're going to see either knight a4 and b3, or maybe we'll see takes and then knight a4 followed by b3, but I feel like that's unlikely. The knight is still hanging on d7, so for the moment, it's not that easy for black's queen to pull away. So maybe we'll see a takes b4. No, he just goes knight a4 straight away. This does feel like the most natural. And yeah, if takes, then white 100% I think plays b3 here. Okay, 100% is a little bit strong. To 95%, white is going b3, unless he's got some immediate tactics in the position, but I don't quite see it. Bishop h3 would be a really nice resource to target this knight, but he needs h4 in first. So ba3, and he just goes bishop c4. Wow, just allowing black to keep taking pawns. But white's point is that black can keep taking pawns, but he's not achieving what he's trying to do, which is open lines to white's king. So bishop c4, white just takes aim at black's king. Now bishop takes f7. Actually was kind of a threat there, wasn't it? If a takes b2, bishop takes f7. King couldn't really take because of queen takes d7, followed by the rook coming in, and then rook takes b7 at the end, giving white an extra minor piece with that combination. So knight c5 played instead. White trades on c5, bishop takes c5. Now rook g7 comes in. This is looking very, very dangerous for black's king. Yeah, we can see the problem. The king is on e8. Rook f8, black is forced to scramble and defend here. But now look out for some knight h4, knight g6, knight f5. Feels like this should be winning for white. Just with white's pieces so active and black only having one pawn, which definitely doesn't look like enough. And black can take on b2, but then there's just no threats in the position. a4, a3, white puts the king on a2 and just still completely blocks everything. So white even has time here to set up the attack. The black is also not castling. Rook d8 though is maybe a move that black can try to use to scramble out of here. So I think maybe knight h4, rook d8 is the consideration. So white might be looking for other ways to keep the initiative going. Maybe even something like rook to g1, so that rook d8, white can avoid the rook trade and play like queen f6 and just keep activating everything in the position. It's kind of where I would be thinking. Yeah, Brodsky running low on time, down to less than 3 minutes. This is the problem of attacking chess, is your position might be really good, but you still need a lot of time to play it precisely and figure out exactly how to proceed. And yeah, he's really using all of his time here, down to 2 minutes now. But he's looking, he feels like it's a critical moment. Rook d8 is about to happen. He doesn't want to trade off all the pieces. If he trades off queens and rooks, then the endgame for black is probably quite playable. Who knows? Maybe there's even some endgames where knight comes to f5 and the h pawn starts running up the board. But yeah, that's that would be quite deep, but maybe that's what he's calculating. Like knight h4, rook d8, trade everything on d8, knight f5, bishop takes f2, h4, and then the pawn looks very, very strong. Ooh, 90 seconds. Big risk here for white to go down this low. He's really, really tanking, but yeah, clearly trying to calculate something. But now the risk is, okay, you calculate something, you place a move, queen h6, but black isn't going to fall for whatever you're expecting them to do. They're going to come up with something else to play. Oh man, 1 minute. Oh, this is very dangerous. Very, very risky time management here from white. At a certain point, you just have to make a move and think on your opponent's time. I mean, the opponent is also going to be thinking, so you'll have more time to figure out what to do. But now 30 seconds. Now I'm wondering if this is not just a possible connection issue. No, finally h4 played after a very, very long think. And looks like he did settle on one of these endgames, but so much time spent. But I guess he's banking that if rook d8, he can trade everything off. King takes d8 and then h5. Bishop takes f2, h6. The pawn goes to h7, rook to g8, and white just wins with the h-pawn. It's a very, very serious plan, but yeah, he hasn't left himself a ton of time to achieve it. Still though, 3-second increment, and white's play is pretty straightforward. I mean, if nothing is hanging, his next move is just h5, h6, h7. If something hangs, he'll deal with it. So rook d8 he can take. Okay, bishop c8, so black is trying to keep things complicated. But I think he's just going to be able to push here, h5, h6. I don't see black's next move here. Bishop e6, white can take. Bishop g4 is also covered. But 15 seconds, so yeah, does push. He doesn't see what black can do either. Maybe bishop d7. Yeah, rook b8 might be an idea. Queen b6 is a thought. Yeah, threatening mate. I mean, why not? The opponent has 18 seconds. But I think on all these moves, white can play b3. Yeah, and then if a4, king a2, I would probably throw an a2 check if I was black, because just to try to open more lines against the king. We don't want white's king just using our own pawns as cover, but a4 played. I really liked a2 there first, just throwing that one in and forcing white to deal. But Brodsky doesn't go king a2, he just pushes h6, takes. Black playing for all the counterplay now. a2, I guess he's going to play king a1 anyway and hide behind this one. Still, there's some bishop d4 check, but looks like he has everything covered. Just knight takes d4, queen takes, and he's totally fine. In the meantime, though, h7, rook g8 is coming. And that's going to be a problem for black. That is a very serious problem. So now black taking his time. He has 5 minutes, so this is his one chance to try to spend some time and come up with some kind of defense. So a2, I'm expecting king a1 here. Can black find anything, any ideas? Bishop b4. And queen just kind of sits somewhere, queen c2. Queen d3 doesn't look bad. Queen takes f2, there's queen d8 mate. He's got 8 seconds, but enough time to put mate on the board. Queen a5. Oh, threatening bishop c3. That's a very serious threat. Rook c1 quickly, though. Found by Brodsky. Yeah, the time is still a little bit nerve-wracking. You know, black just has to find one unexpected idea and might be able to turn this game around. But for now, it looks like Brodsky has everything under control. Rook can safely park on c2. h7 is always a move. Rook to g8. So how is his opponent going to try and create something here? If the rook ever goes to h8, that hangs the f7 pawn. So I can take on f7. What to do? What can black find? Bishop a6. I think white just maybe trades everything and goes h7, rook g8 anyway. Easy. Easy moves. Queen a3, there's rook c2. Black is searching for a move. But what to play? f5 maybe? It's just some f5, e4. Hoping to distract the queen so we can go bishop c3 check. Doesn't even feel like a real try. f5, h7. No, f5 white just takes, and then on e4 it can take with check. And so, yeah, none of this is working for black. So f5, just ef5. But then maybe bishop takes f5. Maybe he's calculating f5, ef, bishop f5, queen e3. At least black is in the game then. Rook d8. Doesn't feel over. So f5. It seems like a try. It definitely seems like a try. Queen e3, some e4 ideas. This a2 pawn is annoying. You know, black just needs to open up some more lines. But I'm guessing both sides are calculating this move. Maybe he'll come up with something else. But yeah, f5, e takes f5, bishop takes f5, queen takes, there's bishop c3, mate in 2. So queen e3, e4, h7, long castles. I mean, it's just absolute mess. Absolute mess. But white has 10 seconds, so it could work out, though, for black. It could totally work out. I'm spending all the time. He goes king e7 after a very long think. h7, though, quickly blitzed out by Brodsky. King e7, bishop e6. Looks like that was the idea. But now white trades. And queen d7. Maybe rook d8 black will play. King takes e6. Feels way too risky. But now queen c4, white can hold on to the piece, and knight h4, knight f5 is... Yeah, I don't think this worked out for black, but what to do? Had had to try something. I feel like f5 was at least tricky for white. I didn't see how white was going to handle it, but this looks like Brodsky should be in control now. I don't see how black creates any more drama. Oh, rook d1. Rook d1. What a move. What a move, winning the queen. But Brodsky had... Oh, no, he gets mated at the end. Oh, wow. Black finds the swindle. Rook t1. What a shot. What a shot. Unbelievable. Now, if rook takes d1 here, bishop c3, white would be forced to give up the queen. And he gets mated on the a file anyways. Oh, boy. King e7 was pretty... It's pretty tricky, huh? Takes rook d8. And now rook d1. Oof. Sick move. Queen c4, maybe not best. Maybe white could... Maybe white could have tried queen c2 here still. Rook d1, queen takes... No, but then bishop c3 anyway. Wow, this rook d8 was very, very tough to deal with. And then rook to d1. Dang. And here white's not in time. Any kind of rook g1 is bishop c3. Wow, so big win by international master Victor Garcia for University Texas RGV, Rio Grande Valley. And... let's see, how are they doing in the match? Oh, wow, they're going to be at least tying this match. Looks like Miley Jade also won on board 3, another upset against Grandmaster Rahul Petty. So 2 upset wins for UTRGV. Board 4 for Dallas won, so 2-1. And now it all comes down to this game, which is down to seconds. Completely mental position, and it's not clear if these players even know what they're playing for, if they know the score of the match, because black actually needs to win this game in order to tie the match. But it doesn't look like he's going to win now. It looks like he is drawing at best. I feel like he should be able to hold it, but white is definitely never losing this. That means UTRGV C team going to pull off pretty serious upset here of the UT Dallas A team. And yeah, it's not clear if white knows the match score right now. He's clearly playing for the win, trying to convert his extra piece, but actually a draw is already enough to win the match. So UTRGV, great position there. And yeah, Grandmaster Skitko here. I mean, he's doing a good job holding. I don't see how white wins this. Yeah, you could already trade queens there. He keeps queens on the board, which is interesting. But yeah, maybe he's hoping for some chances. He might have realized the score is 2-1 in the opposing team's favor. Yeah, black can already trade queens here and make a draw based on the fact that white has the wrong color bishop for the rook pawn. And yeah, it looks like he just makes sure. There are some cases where your king gets stalemated and then you lose because you got to go like g5, g4. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen here. Although I don't think he should have played g5, because now there are cases like, imagine white's king is on h6, black king is on h8, and bishop is on d5. Like, that would actually still be a win for white, because you'd have to go g4, hg, h3, and then white has the g pawn. So you could still lose this as black, but I don't quite see how white sets up this this Zugzwang. Okay, once he takes on g5, yeah, draw. agreed here. So big upsets there by UTRGV. Let's see some more games still going in round 2. Looks like another 4-0 sweep for UTRGV. Actually, I forget how they did round 1, but they won round 1, so 4-0 sweep. Mizzou wins 3-1. So UTRGV C team 2.5, 1.5 against UT Dallas. That's a big upset, but 9-round Swiss, so plenty of chess left. UT Dallas C team is not able to take down the University of Athens. So Athens also one of the favorites here. They're 4-0. Gunadarma University also 4-0. And Armenian State Institute 4-0. Looks like this game's still going. This is Board 1, Texas Tech University. No, it ended. This is Grandmaster Seaman Khanun winning with the black pieces. Texas Tech University, actually a very interesting team. They got 3 strong Grandmasters. They've got Khanun, Sorokin, and Madvishin. Boards 1 through 3, and then FIDE rated 1747 Francesco Bortolucci to bring their average under the required 2400. Looks like black was able to win this game in the end. Okay, let's see. A few more games here still ongoing. Nope, that one's done. Next one. This one's also done. I'm gonna have to refresh my page here. Might be it for round 2. Oh, one more game here. Oh, here we go. Okay, got rook endgame. And this is between Sai Teja from Vit Chennai against Aniket Kumar from Netaji Subhas University of Technology. Okay, so final little rook endgame here. White's up a pawn, but black is the one with the way more active pieces. And yeah, watch out. Rook trade here I think would have been good for black in that endgame. Black can take the pawn and then win this g1. And looks like black managed to snag an extra pawn here, possibly 2 extra pawns with rook takes b3. And yeah, this now is just looks like totally winning endgame for the second player here. Definitely expect them to convert this one. Rook comes to b4. White's king is off in no man's land, nothing to do. In the meantime, black can slowly start pushing the g pawn, go after the c pawn. I would just push g5 here. You can park the rook on b4 as well, but actually I wouldn't touch this construction. I just want to keep white's king kind of stuck here and just run the g pawn as down the board as much as I can. I think black just wins this with the g pawn eventually. We don't even need to do anything on the queen side. But at a certain point, just a simple transition, taking on c4, bringing the rook will be more than satisfactory. And white trying their best, but yeah, it's not going to be able to stop this final pawn. See if the standings are updated. Yeah, we got updated standings here coming up shortly. White just doing their utmost to save this one. It is a team event, but it's just not happening. Black has too many pawns. There are no stalemates in the position. Black doesn't want to give up anything. I feel like we're going to see b5, b4. No, it gives the b pawn. Yeah, you don't need this one. You can just win with the c pawn. And yeah, we should see resigns very, very soon here. And that's it. I think that wraps up all the games for round 2. Let me flip over to the standings here. So we have University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, National Technical University of Athens, Armenian State Institute, St. Louis University, Lvov State University, Far Eastern University, Krakow University, University of Texas Dallas B team, and University of Brawijaya. Oh, I know, I totally butchered that. Brawijaya. Some tough names here. But all these teams are on 2 match points and have total game points, 8 game points, meaning they won all 4 of their matches in both rounds. So a total of 8 games. So the main scoring metric here is going to be the match points. If you win the match 2.5 or more, then that's the most important thing. But then the main tiebreak is likely going to be game points. So also important for the final standings here. So lots of teams on 2 points so far, having won 2 matches, but some teams definitely have just crushed it so far, 4-0 in both games. Others have given up a couple of points, but yeah, now these teams are going to start facing off against each other, and we're definitely going to be seeing more upsets. Already saw some upsets. We saw UT Dallas A team going down to the UT RGV C team. I'm sure all the Texas schools have big rivalries with each other, so UT RGV definitely happy about that. Always nice when your C team takes out another team's A team. I'm doing well. I hope, folks, you're doing great also. Next round is going to be starting in just about 10 minutes. So I think we'll take another quick break here, and then I will see you guys in just a few. Stay tuned, everybody. See you all soon. Folks, welcome back. 2024 Kasparov Chess Foundation University Cup. We're about to see the start of round number 3. This is an online team event, and I believe we definitely have pairings for round 3. So let's bring up who is going to be playing here. All right, we have UTRGV A team against Lvov State University. Already big matchup there. University of Mizzou playing against Ivan Franko, National University of Lvov. So 3 Ukrainian teams actually, boards 1, 2, and 3. We have Lvov State University, Ivan Franko, National University of Lvov, and Taras Shevchenko, National University of Kiev, my hometown, going up against the Technical University of Athens. So bunch of big games. I think we've already, some games have already started. So let's switch over to our board scene. And let's pull up a couple of games here. Okay, so this here we have Oparin Grigory playing black from University of Mizzou. I believe he's the number 1 rated player in the event against National Master Vladislav Bazyuk from the Ivan Franko National University. And once again, these are team matches, so these are best of 4. Got 4 boards ongoing. In rating order, the teams have to be under 2,400 average rating. in order to compete in this event. This is an annual event put on by the Kasparov Chess Foundation. The winning team overall and the top team under 2200 both win a free training session with the world champion Kasparov himself. Huge prize, very valuable for any team. And so also just a great event, very competitive, lots of strong teams and players participating. So round 3 here, most teams still doing well and have won their matches. UT Dallas did suffer an upset to UTRGV C team. We saw that last round. So they're going to be hoping to bounce back, but they've got 9 rounds total here. So that's plenty of time to get back into it. Here, Aparn is playing black, and this looks like this was a Carol Khan. Let's just quickly scroll back through this one, see how we got here. White played the advanced variation. Black goes c5, definitely a trendy move. Takes a3. And a pretty typical variation here where white advances with a3, b4. Bishop d3. Black also gets their pieces out. Castles knight c6, bishop b2, knight f4, c4. Bishop b7, or bishop c7, g3. Inviting black to take the light squared bishop. Black obliges, castles rook to d1, and this is the live position here. So yeah, a bit more space for white in this position for sure, but black did manage to win this light squared bishop. So if the bishop manages to show up on the long diagonal one day, definitely going to be pretty double-edged here. And now queen to e7, inviting white to take on d5 and possibly win a pawn. But this would allow black to open up the bishop, open up the rooks. And so, yeah, white just says, no, thank you. I'll play knight bd2, rook d8 played, intending to open up the rook. And yeah, if white was just given like 2 moves here, like c5, knight b3, knight d4, rook e1, okay, a couple more moves than 2, then white could establish a huge grip. But the problem is any kind of c5 is going to be met with d4. And black is going to be able to open things up anyway. But maybe this d4 is not super scary. Knight c4, knight d6. Maybe white does need to play c5 and try to clamp down. Because otherwise black is going to be taking on c4. Eventually the bishop can get to this diagonal, and that's going to be quite nice. Even something like take, queen takes, bishop d7, followed by rook c8. And eventually black's pieces come alive. So we'll see. It's one of those positions where, I mean, I would think white is totally fine, but the grandmasters, these grandmasters, they find moves. They find ways to put a little bit of pressure, start squeezing a bit, and eventually posing some serious problems. Let's see who else is playing here. We have a very interesting opening, board 4 of the board 1 match. So this is Alexander Prohorov from Lvov State University against WFM Anna Shamatova from UTRGV. And I just wanted to see what happened in this opening, because it's knight f3, f5, e4 played. Takes, knight g5, knight f6, d3. Kind of like reverse Fromm's gambit. From white's point of view, black says no thank you, just gonna give you the pawn back. Let's try to play normal structure, e5, d4. But yeah, we still get some kind of wonky position. Takes, queen takes, knight c6, queen bounced over to h4, d5, bishop d3, knight e5. So yeah, white has brought the queen out early and was threatening with the last move, bishop g6 check, taking advantage of the rook on h8. So black stops that with knight to e5, hits the bishop, covers the g6 square. And after bishop e2, it kind of starts to feel like black is going to be quite comfortable here, because it feels like black has better control over the center. Bishop d6, castles, other bishop can come out as well. And yeah, if black's pieces spring to life, then everything should be quite nice for them here. But yeah, just kind of a funny opening. Let's go back to the other game we were watching and see how things transpired here. So rook d8, rook c1 play, knight b3, black took on a6, knight b3, black took on c4, queen c4, and now rook d5, offering a pawn again is Aparin. First he lifts the rook, he wants to bring his queen behind, but yeah, he's saying that if white takes, e takes d5, queen takes d5, he's going to be able to bring out the bishop, bishop e6 maybe, bishop g4, and essentially just get full compensation via the light squared bishop. So definitely interesting idea there from black. Okay, in the meantime, white looking to maybe bring the knight to c5 or d4 here. The knight would definitely be better placed than just on b3. But is this e-pawn hanging? It's kind of hanging, it's kind of not hanging as well. If we imagine all the captures on e5, at the very end of the line, white would have queen takes c8 and winning material that way. So white can kind of ignore this one or play a move like rook e1. Knight c5 would then block the c file, so not an easy situation here for white to figure out. Maybe queen slides over to f4. It's hard to say. It feels like white is still doing totally fine. Yeah, it does play rook e1 to cover this pawn. But now black is going to start sliding out. Bishop d7, rook c8, rook d8. Yeah, eventually bishop c6. And it feels like black might be able to take over this one. Okay, folks, I want to see what other matches we have. There is a link to the full standings and games of the tournament pinned in the chat if you guys want to check that out. We got a big matchup actually a little bit lower down. Texas Tech University A team going up against UT RGV B team. University Texas Rio Grande Valley, their B team is also quite formidable. We got a couple title players. And I think we have our first Grandmaster versus Grandmaster match in the event. Let me bring up this game here. So Grandmaster Seaman Conan as white from Texas Tech University against Victor Gazik, also Grandmaster playing black from UTRGV. And they've got a very, very complicated position here. Looks like some kind of Najdorf structure. I don't know if this was actually a Najdorf. Maybe we'll just quickly run it through. No, it's d4 opening. Wow. Would never have expected that, but looks like black played the two knights tango type of system. Knight c3, e5, and we get this kind of like King's Indian, Peart's Philidor structure, c6. And yeah, that's how we get kind of back almost into, e4 territory with Najdorf. So bishop takes f5, ef5, knight d7, queen d2. Last couple moves here, knight e4, knight f6, and knight back to c3. And yeah, basically black gave up the light square bishop, now is just totally playing on the dark squares, was trying to trade off that knight. White said no thank you. Very interesting move, by the way. So knight e4, knight f6, knight back to c3. And I don't think this is white playing for a draw or trying to repeat moves. I think he just genuinely wanted to avoid the trade of knights, as black has multiple pieces kind of all fighting for the same square, and white doesn't want to kind of relieve that space advantage. So this is a GM versus GM matchup. Board 2 here, we have Sorokin from Texas Tech University against International Master. They actually drew quite quickly. Wow. They repeated moves. Interesting strategy, because the GM was playing black, so white is a low rated player. makes a draw, but does give up one of the white games for the team. So then we go to board 3. We have Grandmaster Matvishyn from Texas Tech University. Looks like he's tiny bit better against international master Jacob Fuss from UTRGV. And then on the board 4 of this match, Texas Tech University has a pretty serious rating advantage between two club players. So we'll see if they will be able to score a point there. But they'll also be relying on these two boards. So Matvishyn here as white and Grandmaster Seaman Kanin as well. Both of their white games, I think they're going to be trying to score. They'll need 2 points from one of these 3 boards. And actually, it looks like they're repeating here also. So Rook C1, Rook E8, Knight E4, Knight C3, and Knight E4. So Kanin is now repeating on this board. We'll see if Black takes the draw or if he continues playing. I have a feeling he's going to keep the game going, actually. Because, yeah, and he does. He goes Rook C1 and Knight G5. Because from White's point of view, if they make a draw, then they're big favorites on the other 2 boards. So I can totally understand Black continuing to play here. And Knight G5, offering trades on the dark squares. Black's dream is if all these pieces get traded off and White is just left with the light squared bishop, Black would be happy. I think actually Black wants to keep the queens on the board. So Knight G5, Bishop G5, Bishop G5, HG. So keeping the queens on the board, covering the C7 square so that White's rook can't just invade, and then looking eventually maybe to put the queen on B6 after some F6 or Knight F8, Knight H7, and yeah, just playing against this bad light squared bishop. So big question here for White, what to do. If bishop takes G5, then just bishop takes, hitting the queen, forcing knight takes, and HG will be the response. So let's see how Kanin handles this one. Yeah, I'm seeing lots of interesting positions. So Knight G5, Bishop takes G5, yeah, takes HG. And yeah, objectively, I'm not sure what the evaluation is. I imagine White might be fine here, but it does feel like Black is kind of having more fun in the position. You got E4, Knight comes to E5. And yeah, this light squared bishop is not exactly most valuable piece here in White's camp. I would expect E4 right now. E4, just getting the E5 square for that knight. And then even following up with G4, Knight F3 check. Could get very, very serious. So Gazek here playing Black. I think, yeah, he's definitely trying to win for UTRGV. This is kind of their main chance. They're expected to lose on the other 2 boards in this match. This is board 3. This one could still go either way, but I would say here it's very, very pleasant for White, for Grandmaster Matvishyn here, because he's got this dark squared bishop, and this piece is just a total beast. It just dominates the whole board. Even if these bishops come off, I still think White is going to be better there. But of course, the question is whether he'll be able to convert that position, because that's far from trivial. In fact, if Black takes on F1 and goes Rook C8, I don't think that's... Oh, but there's no Rook C8 because there's Bishop E7 check. So that's a key detail. If Rook C8, that blunders Bishop E7. White wins the exchange. And so without being able to trade off the rooks, then... yeah, Black is going to have a hard time defending this one because White keeps the active pieces, Rook C6, Bishop D6, G4, H5, and is definitely going to have the squeeze going. So Knight F6, allowing White to take on B5 so that Black can open up the A file. Let's see board 1. So yeah, these 2 games are going to be very, very critical for this match. I think definitely this is... one of the biggest matches of the round. We also have St. Louis University A team going up against University Texas Dallas B team. So actually that's a pretty Pretty big matchup there as well. With Slew A-Team definitely the favorites by rating, but only because of the average. So actually, that's a very interesting matchup there too. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. In fact, let me refresh. So yeah, Slew, they're favored on board 4, where they've already won. They've got a point from WIM Scylla Kaglar. So she scored against much lower rated player. But on the other 3 boards, University of Texas Dallas actually has a rating advantage over St. Louis. So UTD will be looking to score at least 2.5 points and picking up the upset. So UT Dallas B team actually very good chance, just looking at the standings for the under 2200 prize. They've got a strong team. They've got 2 grandmasters, boards 1 and 2, international master 2480 Andre Makovey on board 3, and then an 1100 rated player on board 4. Their board 4 is probably going to lose a lot of games, but their top 3 boards are going to win a lot of matches just on their own by being able to score 2.5 points. So they've taken on a very interesting strategy to try and win the top under 2200 spot. Okay, let's stay with this game though. So b4, e4 played, queen e3, queen f6, activating the queen but allowing white's rook to come in with rook to c7. Kanin doesn't hesitate too much and puts the rook there. And yeah, clearly, I mean, black had to have calculated something here, but what was the idea? Because on knight e5, white starts taking pawns. Queen takes e4, rook takes b7. The position looks nice for black, but you don't want to just give up all your pawns for no reason. Oh yeah, good point in the chat. Gazik here playing black. He was the 2018 under 18 world champion. And also on UTRGV is Sean Rodrigue Lemieux, who is the most recent under 18 world champion indeed. So yeah, they got some very strong junior players. Queen a1 check on the board, king g2, and now knight f6. So black's just going for full activity here, threatening the d5 pawn. Oh, actually very nice maneuver here. Check and knight f6, seemingly activating all the pieces. Knight takes d5 in the air. Maybe some g4 somewhere. And super, super sharp position. Black likely needing to win this one in order to tie the matchup for their team or possibly take over. Keep an eye on the other boards. After knight f6, white thinking, but yeah, not much to do. Rook takes b7. Snagging the pawn, getting out of knight takes d5. Well, I can't take on d5 here anyway. That's why I was also maybe thinking about queen takes g5. Yeah, very sharp position. Queen takes g5 followed by h6. I'm sure white was also thinking about that. Maybe queen takes g5. They didn't like knight takes d5. Black opens up the queen and defends g7 while also hitting the rook. But we might just get a transposition here anyway. 15 seconds for black, though. He's spending a lot of time trying to be super precise, but yeah, hasn't left himself with a lot of time. So brings the queen back, queen e5. Now this d pawn is definitely lost. This f pawn is also hanging. Gives white a chance to snag another pawn with queen takes g5. So it feels like white's going to be up a pawn or two here soon, but black will be banking on their activity. So knight takes d5 coming, knight c3, e3 idea as well. Okay, queen takes g5 played. I'm expecting black to take on d5. No, just e3 first. Oh, just slamming this one through. Now there's h6 though for white. So h6, knight e4. No, but then queen takes e3. So h6, knight takes d5 probably, just taking this one, supporting the e push, and one of black's pieces will be able to activate itself via the e file. h6 played, g6. Also watch out for queen takes d5 check, but this can be met with bishop f3. h6, g6. Oh, Viktor Gazik playing very, very sharply here. Of course, the pawn can't be taken because of the pin. What to do? If f4, queen takes d5 check, bishop f3, there's queen d2 check, followed by e2, for example, and then, oh, queen takes f6. Oh, man, still super, super sharp. So f4 definitely could be a move here. But maybe f4, knight e4 now. Embarrasses white's queen. So queen takes e3. I think kind of trying to bail out here. But queen takes d5. I think black is winning material now. Queen f3, rook takes e2. Bishop f3 though. Does black have a move? No, he can't take on e3 because white takes on d5. So queen takes f5. White's still up a pawn. Queen under attack. 30 seconds. Now the situation looks actually starting to look quite nice for white. I think things have turned around. The queen can go to c3 and kind of latch onto this g7 square. Queen f4 is a pretty unpleasant move here too. Just opting for that endgame. White realizing that any rook and bishop endgame is going to be very, very pleasant now. This bishop is no longer a bad piece. Now it's just a very strong bishop. a4. So white here, I think, has switched to now playing for the win. And black desperately trying to create counterplay. g4, but bishop c6. This bishop is way too strong. And rook takes b5. Oh, nice. Nice move. And that's it. Oh my god, what a final position. Black just resigns. Because after rook takes b5, ab, black's knight is stuck. With one move, white just killed off both of black's pieces here. First the rook, and then the knight after the trade actually just has no way of getting back and stopping the b-pawn. So big win there. Of course, Gazik was playing, pushing very hard for a win for the team out of necessity, but ends up losing. And yeah, that means Texas Tech University is going to be winning this match. Let's jump to this game here. This is board 2, University Texas Dallas B team against St. Louis University. Right now, this is 2-1 in St. Louis's favor. Playing white for St. Louis is FIDE master Gabriela Antova. So she just needs to draw this game against Grandmaster Balaji Daghupati, and St. Louis University can win their match. But it feels like she should be able to. Yeah, I don't see white losing this position short of a flag. There is enough material to still lose it. It's 2 rooks for the queen, but it looks like the queen is definitely strong enough to kind of ensure a perpetual check. Now maybe h5 I would play just to not let black cover, and yeah, it feels like white can definitely give checks, although Balaji, he's going for it. He wants to bring the other rook to a7, take here, keep the game going. The question is whether black will be able to do anything. They will be able to win the a-pawn, but beyond that, whether they'll be able to establish anything is hard to say. As long as white keeps the clock alive, very difficult for black to pile up on the g-pawn without allowing a lot of checks from white's queen here. So this should, I think, very, very likely still be a draw, but crucial match here, yeah, especially for UT Dallas, their B team. If they want to at least draw this one, they're going to need a win from Balaji playing black here. So we'll see if he manages. He's definitely going to try for many moves, but what to do with white? You just keep the queen super active and just say as soon as your second rook leaves the back rank, there's going to be a lot of checks, so you can go ahead and try. And yeah, Balaji is trying, so he's going to play for like rook b3, rook f3, hoping to keep the f5 square covered, but there's still queen c8, queen c2. If black could take the c file and put one rook on c3, one rook on f3. There's still, I think, too many checks. Queen e8, queen e4. So yeah, that's the problem, is that white's queen just has too many avenues here. I think queen e4 now. Now this one maybe allows rook f3. Hold on, queen c4, rook f3. No, there is still queen c8, queen c2 with the perpetual. So yeah, the queen is holding strong here for the moment. But g6, okay, resetting the 50 move rule. And now h5, white's trying to trade off all the pawns, but I think we're going to see no, takes on h5, leaving black with just one pawn. But now white can just defend the g-pawn, and white's never afraid of black sacrificing on g3, resulting king and pawn endgame is just a definite draw. Definitely looking like Antova is going to be able to hold this one for Slew and win a very, very tough match. I mean, they were outrated on 3 boards, but looks like they're going to manage to get the 2.5 points. But we will watch this one play out. And yeah, 3 full repetition. That's it. Antova draws. So Slew A team, St. Louis University defeats UT Dallas B team 2.5, 1.5. Let's see what other matches we have still going. Okay, some results. So UTRGV A team, they won 2.5, 1.5. Ivan Franco, National University of Lvov, they draw 2-2 against University of Mizzou. Big upset draw there. Another upset, actually, the National University of Kiev, Taras Shevchenko National University, they won 3-1 against Technical University of Athens. Actually, big upset there. Athens is one of the top teams in the field with 2385 average rating. And Gunadarma University still looking very, very strong, winning 4-0 against the Bucharest University of Economics Studies. Bucharest University, actually, from Romania. Very good team. I remember them from last year. But yeah, they got wiped 4-0. Looks like this game is still going. This is board 1 of University of Maribor against the Armenian State Institute. And looks like the Armenian State Institute, they're up 2-1. They need to hold this game. So they've got the black side here, meaning the rook. This is a completely drawn endgame. So the Armenian State Institute, they should be able to win this match, provided that black can hold this endgame. And this is not that difficult to hold. We can see the technique here that black is using is actually pretty good. Just keep the rook far away from the king. So you don't want to walk into any knight forks. Try to keep the knight pinned. Just keep the rook far away from both kings and yeah, keep it annoying and active. And there's just very, very little that the white pieces can do here. And that's it. Looks like the game was drawn after the 50 move rule was hit. Let me see if we have any other games here. Okay, one more game going on. This is possibly one of the final games in round 3. Nope, this one's over. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for round 3. Okay, maybe last game we might have a bit of final action. Nope, this one's done too. All right, folks, let's switch over to the standings and see where we're at after the 3rd round. And here we go. Okay, actually I'll make this a bit smaller so we can see the game points as well. Alrighty. So we got Far Eastern University of Manila. First place with 3 match points out of 3 and 12 game points. So they're the only team that has won all 3 of their matches 4-0 so far. Then you have Gunadarma University, Lvov State University, UTRGV A team in 4th place, St. Louis University A team in 5th place, and a bunch of more teams with 3 points. So they've won all their matches so far, including the UTRGV C team. They're the ones that scored that big upset in round 2 over the UT Dallas A team. So they won their match as well. They're in 11th place. But yeah, plenty more rounds to go, 6 more rounds. Of course, at some point we will start to see some clear leaders. And yeah, looks like these Eastern teams are very strong. Far Eastern University of Manila and Gunadarma University both playing really, really well so far. Next round should be starting in just about 10 minutes. Yeah, link to the standings and pairings, other games you guys can find pinned in the chat. And yeah, in the meantime, let's actually, maybe we can go through some of these other games that took place. We've got a little bit of time before the next round. Question from the chat: what's the rating needed to get a chess scholarship to one of these schools? Yeah, I think it really depends on the school. I know a lot of schools, they will accept most title players like FM, IM, GM. You're able to get a scholarship. Some schools might be even very competitive, so you got to be like IM, GM. I think for the most part, most universities are kind of happy to have you as long as you play chess, but they might not be able to give out huge scholarships. Okay, so this game here, actually, let me bring the board back. This game here is played by Sean Rodrigue, board 2 of the UTRGV A team. And someone mentioned he's a world under 18 world champion. It looks like he was able to win this game with black. So let's just play through a couple moves, see how this happened here. Rook c8, c4. Seems like normal position so far. Queen c7, knight e5, rook d8, queen c1, knight takes e5, knight takes e5. Ooh, apparently this was a big blunder. Queen takes c1, and now rook d2. And black was able to just win a piece. Oh, kind of surprising. Yeah, white must not have been expecting this. Still with 9 minutes on their clock here when they played knight takes e5. Not realizing after queen takes c1, takes, and now rook d2, that they're just losing the bishop. And bishop takes c1 here I think would not have been good, because black is like knight d7, knight e4, all kinds of moves, taking advantage of this diagonal, and yeah, more likely than not, white's losing the piece here anyway. So rook d2, and that was it. White was able to pick up the f-pawn, but at the cost of the b2 bishop. Black's rook on c8 defended, and now black just needed to convert the extra piece. Knight d7, nice move, initiating some exchanges here. Knight c4 played, rook takes a2, bishop e6, rook a1, trading off the rooks, and just keeping the extra piece for black. So looks like pretty clean conversion here from Sean Rodrigue, as his team UTRGV, they're still on 3 out of 3, perfect score, and looking to continue their campaign. Let's see here. Oh, we were also watching this game between Grandmaster Opara and board 1 of University of Mizzou. They were able to win. No, they didn't win their match. They actually got upset, drawn 2-2. So they won their top 2 boards, lost their bottom 2 boards. So they're on 2.5 out of 3 going into the next round. We were watching this game a bit. We saw this opening develop, Black got the light squared bishop. I'm just curious how he ended up converting this one. So takes, rook d5, bishop d7, knight c5, rook b8 played. Queen g4, white starts making moves on the king side. h6, knight a7. A lot of question marks. The engine not super happy with their play. I feel like both sides are making reasonable moves, but queen h5, let's see, king g8, rook g4. Apparently some blunders here. Oh, rook takes c5 was possible in this position. Rook takes c5, bishop takes f3, winning material. That was missed. King f8 played. Rook back to f4. White offered the draw. Black says, no way, we're playing this out. Rook d1, rook d1. Now we see Black's light squared bishop super, super strong here. Rook b1 played. Wow, a lot of mistakes in this game, but it's a rapid game, so very, very understandable. Apparently, queen g6 white had here, which would have been winning. What an insane move, queen g6, hitting the rook, and then rook takes b2. The queen gets in via h7 and is going to be super dangerous here. Wow. Yeah, so like is here, for example, check and then take, and then knight takes e6, knight takes c7, Black wins the pawn. But yeah, of course, players are unlikely to find that bishop d4, knight b5. Instead, Black kept the counterplay going. Knight c3, queen g6 now was played, but now king g8, the rook on b1 is defended. So this queen doesn't do much. Knight came back to d5, takes on e3, and now Black's two bishops finally opening up. Takes on c5 here, and White was just left with this huge problem. The knight pinned on f3, queen d1, and now Black's counterplay just completely takes over. g6, and rook b3, final move, and White resigned here. And what a nice final position, showing the problem with the White strategy. Their queen ends up completely sidelined on the king side, and this bishop ends up winning the day for Black from c6. So rook b3, just like trading off the rook, and that's it. White couldn't do anything from there. Wow, very nice finish from Oparin. Yeah, definitely a big time scramble. Both sides were under a minute there to end the game. Folks, next round will be starting in just a few minutes. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for round 4. Kasparov Chess Foundation University Cup 2024. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Round 4, the KCF University Cup, about to get started. A bunch of teams still on perfect score, 3 out of 3. We're going to be seeing some cool matchups this time around. Got Lvov State University against UTRGV. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, surprise team. 3 out of 3. They're going up against Gunadarma University, one of the powerful teams coming from India. Many good matchups along the way. Looks like we have some games starting already. So let's bring up some live boards. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is National Master Naveen Prabhu against Grandmaster Pruess Moro. This was Rosalimo. Bishop takes c6, d3, and now d6. So very double-edged structure we're going to get in this one. Okay, let's see. Oh, look at... what a brutal matchup. We got Texas Tech University A team paired against Texas Tech University B team.
That is unfortunate. They really did Texas Tech dirty with with that pairing there. Texas Tech A team, of course, big favorites, but you never want to knock out A team versus B team. It does happen though. I mean, there are no rules against pairing these teams against each other. We also have UTRGV C team that have done really well so far, going up against University of Mizzou. This looks like a huge matchup. Let's see if we can find their games. And yeah, we're looking for Parrin's games. For some reason, not loading up. Oh, actually, I can find them on this one. Here we go. So this is International Master Tianji Wang from UTRGV C team going up against Grandmaster Oparin. We also have Luka Budasalevich. He's playing against International Master Victor Garcia, who scored that very nice upset win we saw over Grandmaster Brodsky. We have WGM Miley Jade Uwet against FM Krostova from Mizzou. This game is ongoing here. And board 4, we have WIM Arena from Mizzou against Ryan Gonzalez from UTRGV, who is only coming in at 1,000 rated. So a lot is going to depend on this board. I imagine this is going to go Mizzou's way. So Mizzou is kind of, very likely to get the first point in this match. And UTRGV, they're going to have to pull off some magic in the top 3 boards, because this is going to be a tough match for them. They're definitely outrated heavily on the top 2 boards. So let's watch this one. So this is Oparin playing black against International Master from UTRGV. Let me just quickly go back to the opening so we can see how we got here. Knight f3, knight f6, c4, c5, b3, g6. So white here playing kind of a quiet system, b3, e3. Black playing King's Indian type of setup. Generally speaking, black is totally fine here. White is not really playing for any kind of advantage, rather just a simple position that they can just kind of handle. This is rapid time control, not classical chess, so the players aren't looking for the biggest, clear advantage from the opening. But let's look at what happened. So rook e1, rook d8, queen b1. Oparin pushes d4, because now he has enough pieces covering this one. And this is a big advance, because if black is able to achieve this one successfully, essentially black is getting this reverse Benoni structure, where black could be playing for a big advantage against white's now space disadvantage. So b4, e5, bishop f1, knight h5 played, b5, knight a5, and knight takes d4. So this game has just gotten extremely sharp. Without this move, knight takes d4, I would think black is doing totally fine. But if white can get away with snagging this pawn, that's going to be a pretty significant issue here for black. So let's see if we can figure out what's happening here. Oparin is thinking. And let's see, after bishop f1, trying to think if he was kind of forced to sacrifice this pawn or not. I mean, d4 might have been a bit too early. It still remains to be seen, because takes b4, white creates this very clear threat of pushing b5 and winning the d pawn. Black reacted logically, e5. Bishop f1, though, opening up the rook. Knight h5, defending the pawn. b5, knight a5, knight takes d4. And Oparin is thinking, and the longer he thinks, the more it makes me think that he hasn't totally calculated his way through the complications yet. I mean, super sharp position. Black has this pressure on the d-file. This bishop is open. This bishop can come to h6. So I wouldn't be surprised if black doesn't have some tactical opportunity here, but I don't quite see it just yet. Maybe knight f4 he wants to play. Oops, excuse me. Knight f4, yeah, could be a problem here for white. This pawn on d3, definitely a big target. But he's spending a lot of time. Yeah, more time he spends, the more confident I would feel in white's shoes here. Very sharp game. Could be that white has just managed to snag a pawn, but yeah, of course, black is going to minimum have some serious compensation there. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's go to board 2 in this match. So board 2, oh, we got a classic King's Indian here. So here playing white is Grandmaster Luka Budusalevich, and playing for University of Mizzou. His opponent has already defeated one Grandmaster in the previous round, or maybe actually it was 2 rounds ago. It was in round 2. Here they got a classic King's Indian b4 bayonet attack, and black just goes knight e8 and f5. This is just like the old school way of playing, just bringing the knight back, running the f pawn forward. These days, these positions are considered favorable for white. It's said that white is supposedly faster with the queenside play, but it's still difficult to play these positions perfectly as white, and so black, of course, always gets their chances in this kind of position. So f4 played, g5 coming. Of course, the great Garry Kasparov used to play these positions all the time in his career. He won many games from these structures. Rook c1, bishop f8, knight c4, knight h4, and yeah, black's attack is continuing full steam ahead. Rook g7, h5 somewhere if he can get it in. Maybe queen e8 first. But knight h4, and this is the live position on the board. So this one could really go either way. All it takes for white is one mistake, and black's attack can become extremely dangerous here. So some g4, f3 break, and so on. But Luka, he keeps trotting ahead confidently with a6. Black goes b6, trying to keep everything defended. If takes, I think the issue there would have been knight a5, knight c6. White's knight gets in, and the thing about these positions is that white is definitely breaking through on the queen side. It's just a matter of time. The question is, can black hold white off long enough in order to be able to generate the king side counterplay? Because black's attack also, given enough time, will succeed. So rook g7, queen e8, h5, g4, f3, and then white has serious problems. So basically we have a race situation here. Both sides are racing to get their counterplay going as quickly as possible. b6 played, b5, and the trade-off is this. The trade-off is that white starts off ahead. They get more space on the queen side, and they're generally a little bit faster with their queen side play. But black is playing for a higher prize, a higher stake, and that is white's king. Here, if white is able to achieve their hopes and dreams, then they're going to be able to win black's queen side, win a pawn, 2 pawns, promote a queen, promote 2 queens. But if black achieves their hopes on the king side, then black gets to deliver checkmate to white's king. And it doesn't matter how many queens you have if your king is getting mated. So yeah, these positions are high risk, high reward for both sides, and rook g7 played. Black just continues the plan. Now, it's not clear how they're going to get h5 in. Now, white goes bishop g4. I guess knight a2 here is not really possible because of knight takes e4. Bishop g4 is interesting. It wasn't clear what white's next move is, but also not clear what black's next move is, because h5 for the moment, white could still take that one. If queen e8, that would hang d6, and probably not good. But how to continue for white? Because you'd like to go knight a2, knight b4, maybe bring the rook to c6 as well, like knight b2, rook c6, knight back to c4. But the issue is, as soon as you touch this knight, of course, the e4 pawn drops. And if you play f3, then you allow black to go h5 and g4. So f3 is not exactly a move white wants to play. So he tries bishop g4, and using the bishop to just plug up black's attack as much as he can. Definitely an interesting try. Pretty thematic move as well, for sure. So the question for black is, okay, do you take with the knights? after HG. You probably don't want to take with the bishop because generally black needs the bishop for the attack. So the question here would be to take with the knight or try to get some kind of H5 in. But yeah, I don't see how H5 happens. So knight takes G4 feels like the move you kind of have to play here. And just keeping the light square bishop on for blacks. Like take, then maybe H5 in that position. Takes G4, like queen G5 and playing for the attack. Yeah, knight takes G4 played. Now either some kind of F3 or H5 I feel like are kind of mandatory for black. I don't really see a ton of options there. So F3 played. Looks like me and Victor are on the same page here. Now, if white takes this pawn, this F3 pawn is going to be a constant target. So rook F7, queen F6, H5 anyway. I think black's counterplay is very annoying. But if G3 then, maybe black just takes on G4 and offers the knight sacrifice in order to open up white's king. That also looks very, very scary for white. So G3 might be a move, but it's not a move you want to play. Also, black has options there. G3, queen D7, followed by queen takes G4. Looks pretty vicious. Maybe knight E3. That might have to bite the bullet here and go G3. So if bishop takes G4, GH4, GH4, king H2, I don't quite see how black wins there. It does look extremely scary, but maybe rook G1, white is in time. Instead he goes knight E3, allows black to take on G2, but knight E3 is very understandable because you really, yeah, it's very, very scary for white. You don't want to allow black's pieces the chance to just come in. I don't know, maybe that wasn't quite working for black, but I can understand not wanting to just even give the opportunity. So FG2, now knight takes G2. And he's looking to trade off this knight and then one day bring the other knight over to G3 and F5. If white could get this knight to F5, then for sure white would be standing extremely well. The rook can come to C6. But queen F6, F3, black is not making things easy. But now knight E3, knight F5. White's knight is again itching to jump in, but H5 again, black just opening everything up. Ooh, and rook C2. White's position just holding on by a thread. He's banking on takes FG, hitting the queen. But now bishop D7. Both sides have clearly sped up their play. Black's second rook is coming in via rook C8. Knight E3. Position is super imbalanced. I wouldn't be surprised afterwards. We might check it out, but we'll probably see a ton of changes in terms of the evaluation. But right now, it feels like black is looking very, very active. Queen F4 has just come in, hitting the knight. And looking for all kinds of, queen G3 checks, HGs, rook H7s. Very, very scary. And Victor here has already scored one upset with black earlier in the tournament. He defeated Grandmaster Brodsky from UT Dallas. Now he's definitely looking to score another win with black, I'm sure. And what to play here for white? Queen F4, maybe knight G2 back. Then minimum black can repeat. And yeah, Luca's spending lots of time here. I don't blame him. Maybe checking out the positions of his teammates, just wondering if a draw would be acceptable here. He's definitely a favorite on rating, but a draw wouldn't be the worst result for Mizzou's team here on this board. Mizzou in this match is likely going to get a point on the fourth board. And so that means their top three boards just need to score 1.5 out of 3. And their favorites on each board. So yeah, draw definitely I think is a completely reasonable result here for white. But spending a lot of time going down to 2 minutes. And knight f5 played. Okay, so challenging the knight, but from this direction. Clearly calculated a bunch here. FHG, maybe knight takes g7. Oh no, but that looks super scary. G takes f3. Black takes on f5 with the bishop though. EF. Looked pre-moved. And looks like black can give a check, but then king h1. And if queen h3 check, white even can go rook h2. It doesn't have to play king to g1. So where is the counterplay here for black? Okay, rook c8, there it is. Second rook comes in. Now, of course, black is threatening check, and rook takes c3 with a mate on g2. So white needs to defend the second rank. Maybe queen e2 now. Queen e2 feels like white's still holding, but watch out for rook g c7. This could be actually really, really good for black. This looks very, very, very dangerous right now. White's position is just under huge pressure currently. This queen g3 is just a big problem, as well as rook g c7. I don't see how white deals with the pressure against the rook. Okay, bishop b2. Okay, definitely makes sense. Now he's defending against rook c7, so and queen g3 as well. Bishop e2 actually feels like a clutch move, possibly only move there. But can black find something to disrupt white's position? He takes on g4. I was thinking about e4 as well, but takes on g4. Now I think white recaptures, and oh, he's playing for the h-file. He's going to go queen g3 check and rook h7. Guys, I think black is winning this game, and Victor is going to win another game for UTRGV. And scoring a huge upset against Luca, who's a grandmaster GM here. Doesn't show his title, but he's, of course, a GM from UTRGV. Queen g3, rook h7 coming, and this is just... this is looking like mate. White can go rook h2, but then minimum black has rook takes c3 with 2 pieces for the rook and just completely winning position. Maybe he's got something even better here. Queen g2? Oh, nice mate. Nice mate. Queen g2. Oh, lovely find. Lovely finish. Oh. Nasty. Nasty. But yeah, excellent attack here, conducted by black. So takes, check, and queen g2. It's one for the puzzle books. So huge win there for UTRGV. Let's see how Oparin is doing. He definitely needs to win this game. For Mizzou, if they want to win this match. I'm trying to find their board 4. But might already be done. Let me refresh the boards. Yeah, this is the last game in this match. So currently the score is 2-1 for UTRGV. Because they managed to win 2 games. Victor won his game, and Miley Jade on board 3 defeated Krasteva from Mizzou. Mizzou's board 4 did win, so Oparin needs to win this game in order to tie the match for Mizzou. Otherwise, they are losing to a 400-point underdog UTRGV C team, which is completely outperforming all expectations right now. Now, in terms of the board situation, Oparin is a pawn down. I mean, he's got total compensation with a powerful bishop on d4, opposite color bishops. I think black is definitely not worse here. But whether he'll be able to win this one is another story. He's playing against international master Tianji Wang, representing board 1 here for UTRGV. And yeah, I know Wang is a very, very solid blitz player. So I don't think this is something he loses easily. But Oparin, hopefully he knows he has to play for a win here in order to save the match. So already a crucial moment for University of Mizzou. They're definitely one of the favorites here overall. They're the recent winners of the Pan American Championships that they hold over January. But yeah, in this online event, of course, anything can happen. So Rook e4, Oparin looking for any chance here to swindle a win. He does have Rook c1, but Rook just comes back to e1. Oh no, King to e2. Excuse me. If Rook e1, then Bishop c3 would be a problem. I think King just comes to e2. That's the defense to Rook c1. So f5, offering the h-pawn. Can white take it, though? The rook looks a little trapped after g5, rook h5. Okay, it goes back to e1, bishop c3, bishop f3. Nice counter attack. Black's still down a pawn, but 20 seconds for both sides, so the game is definitely going to be decided in this scramble. And yeah, absolutely critical point here for black to try and win. Takes on e1, allows a trade of rooks, rook b1, bishop c3 back, but now white's king is able to get out. You gotta feel like white is perfectly safe now. So f4. f4 is a big move. He must have not wanted black's king to get any more space, but now of course black is always going to have this target, the rook f1. So still tons of play left in the position, and of course 10 seconds for both sides is just going to come down to the nerves at this point. Objectively, white's position is totally fine. Now he's even got rook c6. He had rook c6 check, rook takes g6. Maybe could have even played for the win, but all white needs is a draw here to win the match for his team. And Oparin, yeah, he's trying. He's avoiding the repetition. Maybe rook g1. No, bishop b6. Oh, he couldn't play king f6 anymore because of rook c6 check. But bishop c6 back. Well, he doesn't want to take any risks, but he drops the a-pawn, drops the f-pawn. Now material has equalized, but the pawns are trading off g3. White is trading off as many pawns as they can here and is now much closer to a draw. That said, though, black has managed to create two passed pawns, including this a-pawn and this f-pawn. Rook comes to b8, now maybe rook b4. A-pawn continues to run, but white has this h-pawn now, so both sides have their passed pawns. Still seems like black is better here. Yeah, more active king, rook b2 check coming. At some point, this bishop will have to get out of the way. Now rook b2 check, and could still get very, very dicey for white. Doesn't give the check, though. Why not give the check? Force white's king back. No, he just keeps the rook on the 4th rank. Advances the pawn to a3. Watch out. Can he take on c4, go a2? No, there's rook a8 there at the end. So rook b2 back, but look out for this idea. The exchange sacrifice is one of the key ways that one side can actually win a position when it gets all blockaded like this. So bishop d4, black is setting up the push of the a pawn. 5 seconds for white. Rook a8, that looks strong, covering a2. Now king g5 maybe, going after this pawn. White might have to give up this pawn, doesn't want to allow a2. Bishop f7. Oh no, white flags. Oh, and Oparin manages to take the game. Very unfortunate flag from white, probably just trying to get bishop f7 down or something, but that will be black's point, and that allows Mizzou to tie up that match. Very dramatic finish. But they managed to save that match 2-2 against UTRGV C team. Still a very nice result for UTRGV, but yeah, of course, they're going to be disappointed they weren't able to hold that last half point. Okay, other results in this match, in this round. St. Louis University, they won 3-1 against Shevchenko, National University of Kiev. Texas Tech A team defeated the B team 3-1. Unfortunate pairing there. UTRGV, the top team, looks like they won at least 3-0 against Lvov State University. This is the final game. Looks like this one just ended. Then we had UNC, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill against Gunadarma University. This is final game in this match, although the match is already decided 3-0 in Gunadarma's favor. And here it looks like their board 4 on white is trying to make it a perfect 4-0. It's very, very close. I mean, these two pawns are strong. Black is trying to defend by cutting off white's king, but rook b5. And white, it feels like this should be winning for white, but is struggling a little bit to put it away. Now d6. Yeah, this is the question. If white gets a tempo, then it's winning, but black has rook c2, gives some checks. And I don't know, is white's king able to escape here? King e4. King d3 now. Yeah, now should be winning. I think instead of rook check, rook c2 was the main question. And then it's not clear if white wins that after rook c2. So rook e5, king d4, rook e1. White gets to move the rook out. And yeah, now the king should be able to escape the checks. And eventually this back rank is going to be a problem. Okay, going this way, I think totally unnecessary. Just needs to walk it back. And okay, anyway, rook c1, rook h8. The game is now over. Let me see if there are any more games left. This one is done. So that might be it for round 4. Yeah, it looks like all the top games are done. So let's switch over to the standings after the 4th round. Which we've got here. Okay, so only 5 teams left with a perfect 4 out of 4, including Gunadarma University, UTRGV A team, Armenian State Institute, St. Louis University A team, and Texas Tech University A team. So yeah, several of these teams are going to play each other. I'm not sure if it'll be the top 4 or how they'll do it, whether they do it by rating or by game points. As you guys can see, you've got the game points column here, and this is kind of the main tiebreak that they'll be using in case at the end of 9 rounds that there are any ties. But yeah, so far this team from India, Gunadarma, they've scored 15 out of a possible 16 points. So they've only given up 1 point so far in the whole tournament, which is pretty impressive so far. Let's see, next round should be starting in about 10 minutes. I think maybe a little bit more. Let me open things up. Keep an eye on it. Okay, so yeah, maybe we can take a look at a few more games from that round that we missed. Okay, let's see here. So that was a big match between Mizzou and the UTRGV. This C team is absolutely crushing it. Mostly on the back of the board 2 player Victor, who already upset 2 GMs, which is pretty huge. Let's see here. So Texas Tech A team. We also had the Armenian State University. Let's check out this team from Gunadarma. See if I can bring up this this game here. So this is their board 1. This is Grandmaster Pruess playing black against National Master Naveen Prabhu from UNC, University of North Carolina. And yeah, this was that Rosalimo. So h3, knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7. And white kind of opting for this normal plan of moving the knight to h2, playing f4. But black goes knight h5, h6. Got some trades, knight g3, bishop h4, queen g5. And yeah, very optimistic play here from black on the king side. Now f5. And f takes e4. White ends up taking on g3. So you got some trades here. Takes. Rook takes g7. King takes. Bishop takes h4. E takes d3. Wow, this was very sharp. So takes. And looks like white was forced to give up the exchange. Oh, you guys can't see the board. Sorry. We're back to the board now. Thank you for letting me know. So this is the game. This is Rosalimo here. And this was black's active play on the king side. f5, takes on e4. And then we got these fireworks. Rook takes g3, queen takes f4. And now too much stuff was hanging for white on this diagonal. So rook g7. Gives up the rook, takes the dark squared bishop, but doesn't feel like it was enough for white in this position. Rook b8. And yeah, black's pieces just come in. Oof, bishop takes h3. And everything started collapsing here for white. Rook g3, the final flurry of king takes. I think looks like queen e5. Likely wins. So takes, rook g8 back. Queen takes d3, rook g4, rook g7, queen f2, and now rook takes g2. Yeah, ending the game after white takes. Black will pick up the rook in the end, just have the extra queen. So nice game there by their board 1. Let's see, board 2 game. This was board 2. So this is I am Gilbert Tarigan of Gunadarma against Thomas Kung of UNC. Okay, here I am was playing white. Goes for this English. And we got some fireworks out of the opening, but eventually reached this endgame with equal material, but nice dark squared bishop for white. Got this opposite colored bishop endgame, b3, and yeah, looks like this one was a bit pleasant for white. Ooh, g4. Now can't take twice because of rook g1, but otherwise white is playing rook g1, gh5, and going after black's king side. So white was able to create some pretty annoying play here with the rook and bishop. h6 now, f4, f5, f6. Wow, f6. But here, if I was black, I would play rook e8 and just ask, how are you, what are you going to do with the bishop? Because the only way to get out is bishop f8. But okay, rook f3, kind of achieving same thing. Oh, but rook g1, rook a1. Uh-oh. Some checks. White's king not able to escape. Not sure why the king didn't just go to c3, d2. Maybe just didn't want to give up this pawn. Wasn't totally sure, but it looks like... Yeah, it looks like rook h8, h7, not totally clear. Okay, so game continues. Black keeps defending. Both sides are on 5 seconds here. Okay, that's also important detail. Both sides like have no time, 10 seconds. And rook takes e6, white found an f7. Oh, nice breakthrough. It ends up with an extra piece and totally winning endgame. And that was it. That was it. So yeah, very long grind, but ends up finding a breakthrough in the time scramble. Okay, folks, next round is going to be starting in a couple minutes. Let me take a quick final break, and then we'll be back with round 5, 2024 KCF University Cup. See you all soon. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the 2024 Kasparov Chess Foundation University Cup. We are about to get into round 5, which will be starting very, very soon. And, okay, top matchups here include UTRGV against Armenian State Institute, Gunadarma University against Texas Tech University A-Team, St. Louis University A-Team against Ivan Franko National University of Lvov. Got International University of Ecuador going up against UTRGV C-Team, which has overperformed so far. University of Mizzou A-Team against University of Maribor. So live games should be available soon. Let's see here. Yeah, we got live games ready to go. Let's switch over here. Okay, this is GM Gleb Durin of UTRGV A-Team against I am Armin Barsegyan against of the Armenian State Institute. Why don't we watch this one. This is actually, yeah, quite a huge matchup already on board one. UTRGV against the Armenian State Institute of Physical Culture and Sport. So Armenian team, very, very strong. Average rating 2365, going up against 2397. Top team UTRGV. So we got this board here, Grandmaster Gleb Dudin representing UTRGV. Then playing black, we have Sean Rodrigue Lemieux, I believe the current under 18 world champion. He's on board 2 for UTRGV. And he's going up against FIDE Master Alan Yermayan, who I'm sure is quite strong. Okay, so this will be the final round of the day. Then tomorrow, folks, we're going to have the final 4 rounds in this tournament. So after these first 5 rounds, we'll have 4 more rounds to go, finishing with round 9. I'll remind you guys, top winning team overall and the top team under 2200, they win themselves the prize of a free training session with the legendary world champion Kasparov himself. A huge, huge prize these teams are fighting for. There's also additional prizes, I believe, for the top teams under 2000, 1800, and so on. So most teams in the tournament do have something to play for. And yeah, this is the board 2 game here. Board 3, we have International Master Ekin Baris Ozanir, originally from Turkey, going up against Canada Master Artum Manukian. And then board 4, we have Armen Sahakian against WFM Anna Shamatova for UTRGV. Okay, games here are definitely still progressing. We have English system here. Looks like Catalan on board 3. Board 2, this is a pretty solid structure. Looks like it came from Nimzo Indian with G3. Takes, and eventually white pushed E4 in the center. We have this live position here. And board 1, I think this was also Catalan-esque. With Grandmaster Gleb Dudin here, yeah, playing G3, Bishop G2, Knight C3. And this move, Knight C3, actually, this is leaving the main lines a bit already. As this knight, often white castles first, and then the knight is more flexible. It can come to D2. Knight C3 is kind of committal. Black takes on C4, Knight E5. White opts to regain the pawn back, open up the bishop as well. But this gives black time to strike in the center, as white's king is still on E1, and black has already castled. So C5 takes, Queen D1, Knight takes D1, Bishop C5, Knight E3, Knight C6. Now Knight 3 takes C4. And at first glance, actually, this looks pretty pleasant for white because we have this open bishop on the diagonal. Black has an issue with the bishop on C8, having a hard time developing in this position. Knight D4 play, threatening a fork on C2. So black is looking to solve their problems kind of tactically. If white castles, then the E2 pawn drops with check. So we'll see. It feels like white might have a little bit of pressure here, but how to deal with the threat of Knight D4, Knight C2? You don't really want to go back Knight E3, but that may be what ends up happening. In any case, white is going to have to figure out what to do about this E-pawn. So definitely a question here. We also have another big matchup actually on board 2. We have Gunadarma University that has done really well so far, going up against Texas Tech A-team. The big matchup here, Priya Sumoro, Grandmaster from India against Grandmaster Kannan here from Texas Tech. And yeah, this is going to be a huge battle as well. Gunadarma University with a big advantage on the board 4 in this match. So Texas Tech University, they're going to be looking to score, especially on their boards 2 and 3. And whoa, tactic on the board, huh? Knight takes C3. what is happening here? Let me just go back, see how this game started. It was definitely some kind of Ruy Lopez. Let's just see how we got to that point. So b5, c3. And white invites the marshal. Black plays the marshal. Takes, and now a4. White doesn't accept the marshal gambit. Instead, goes a4, b4, and now d4. So opts for one of these sidelines. Takes, bishop e6, rook d1. And now knight takes c3 on the board. So Kanan here calculates a bit and finds a very nice tactical shot. Of course, if bc, he wants to just take this bishop on b3, or even trade queens first and then possibly take on b3 there. And at first glance, it feels like this works for black because knight takes d1, knight e2 check also hanging. So bishop takes e6, there'd be knight e2 check, followed by taking the queen. And black just wins there. Yeah, this is a pretty rare line. I'm not sure if I have ever seen a4 in this position. I imagine it's totally, it's a known idea and it's totally playable, but yeah, clearly bishop e6, rook d1 takes. Feels like something has gone wrong for white here, because he's thinking he's burning a lot of time, and I don't see an obvious move for white. If queen takes queen, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, rook takes d8, d1 is hanging. So bishop takes e6, rook d1 is checkmate. So knight takes c3. And now white has to figure out how to keep the game going. Yeah, it feels like this might have been blundered. Because what to do? Not seeing an obvious move here for white. Knight takes d1 is hanging. So this could be a big point for Grandmaster Kanan for Texas Tech University, because they're likely losing board 4 in this match, but they've got an advantage on the top 3 boards. So they're definitely looking to score on this one. Board 2, we have Sorokin against Tarragon. This one's looking actually pretty solid. I can definitely see black holding this position here after bishop takes e6. We're going to get some trades. Yeah, there's some weak b pawns here, but it feels like the material is reduced enough that it shouldn't be too difficult. Fe, okay, very surprising recapture here. I thought for sure queen takes e6 was going to be played. I don't understand why it wasn't. Fe, feels like that gives white more targets in the position. I understand black is playing for the f file, but yeah, for me it definitely was unclear if that was necessary. But okay, Sorokin here looking to maximize his chances. And then Matveshin, Grandmaster, board 3 here for Texas Tech University, also looking to win for TTU in this crucial 5th round. I believe both these teams are on 4. Let me check the standings real quick. Yeah, Texas Tech University also on 4 points against UTRGV. And next matchup is St. Louis University, also on 4. They're playing against Ivan Franko, National University of Lvov, that I think has 3.5. Right. Okay, so Matveshin here playing black for Texas Tech, down on time, but with an extra pawn in the position. So perhaps some chances to convert this. Well, he does have some activity here, like rook c1, rook comes to c7, but this bishop can come to c6 and cover white's rook. So he trades on c1. I would expect either bishop c6 here or king d8. It feels like it's hard for black to convert the extra pawn, but it is a pawn, and black has ideas. Bishop c6, knight e4. If this knight on f3 ever gets kicked around, then of course white's pawn stop dropping. So you could definitely see black, utilizing this one. It is an extra pawn, so that's pretty serious. Okay, rook e1, knight e4 check played. Bishop takes e4, rook takes e4. Offering the bishop versus knight endgame, where it looks like black would have excellent winning chances. The king walks in, black has this outside pass pawn on the queen side. Bishop versus knight should be really good. So I don't think white should take this one. I think probably better chances to keep the rook on the board, but then yeah, black's got this extra pawn. Black's going to be pushing for sure. Okay, board 4 in this match. Here we have Francesco Bortolucci for Texas Tech. He's a big underdog, but right now material is equal. And seems like he's kind of holding this one. A lot hangs on whether black can go knight c4 here and win the a pawn. Maybe black is actually winning a pawn here, because if king e2, knight c4 takes, king takes, black's king walks in and wins the game. So this one actually, I think white might be in trouble here. I think knight c4. I think black is actually getting the upper hand in this knight endgame. Very unfortunate. Let's just go back a bit. Feels like white was kind of okay here, but yeah, black's king and knight were always active, weren't they? And that's instructive. Yeah, it wasn't obvious at first glance, but looks like black is actually in control here and likely winning. In the meantime, Kanin has already won his game. This was where we tuned in and we saw rook d1. Yeah, it turns out this was just a huge blunder. Knight takes c3, bishop takes, and that's it. Black won. Very healthy pawn. Takes on c3, now has the two bishops. Can't take on e7 because of rook d1 mates. The back rank, so knight c3, bishop f6, bishop b2, but rook d2, and white doesn't even get out here. Ended up resigning as they're just losing material. Rook b1, rook takes b2 would be the follow-up. And the black is going to end up with an extra piece, totally winning endgame. So Kanin scoring the first huge point of the round for Texas Tech University, which makes them very, very likely to win against Gunadarma. They'll need to score... Actually, it's not that close. They'll need to score 1.5 out of 2 on this board and this board. So one of their players needs to win here and the other one needs to draw. So actually it's still very much up in the air, but Modvishin, wow, this game has progressed quite a bit. He's still pushing this one. Can he convert it? He had an extra pawn earlier. He's given that back, but it looks like king is coming to g4. Wow, wild position, because white's knight is stuck, but it's hard for black to approach the knight. But king g4, if king e3, then of course black starts running the a pawn. Maybe just a4 there, followed by b4, a3, and promoting. So, oof, very difficult endgame here. If f5, king g5, black is going to at least snag this pawn. I feel like it should be still holding for white, especially long term. They've got the wrong color bishop for the a pawn. So I would think maybe f5, king g5, king c3, and then if takes, knight e8, just try to bring the knight out. Okay, king d3. So what's the idea? King g4, If king e3, a4, I feel like white's going to find themselves a bit uncomfortable territory here. But a4, maybe he just wants to go back and argue that he forced black's pawn up, even though he's going to lose that one. Okay, b4 play. Black decides to go b4, but now white's move is easy. White can just take. And I think black recaptures here. White's going to have to go back, but it feels like he can just go after the pawn. King d3. Takes king here. Maybe check. King e4. Some problems for white still. Some problems. Knight e6, bishop d7, knight c5. So knight e6 holding on to the pawn. Yeah, knight's almost trapped here. Feels like white is hanging on with perfect play. But yeah, we'll take some precision. In the meantime, Guinadharma University has evened it up. Black was able to win this knight endgame. Wow, they made a lot of moves. But yeah, we saw this one, and yeah, white wasn't able to find the defense. I think at least had to give the a-pawn here, keep the knights on the board. Tries the king and pawn endgame, but this one is just totally gone. Just king a4 at a5, and black breaks the king out, extra pawn. And yeah, no chances here for white. So the match is currently even. Weighs on these final two games. This one I feel like is very likely drawn. So that means it's going to come down to this game. And so yeah, match will be decided by the outcome of this game. So we'll see if Sorokin can convert this one with the rook and bishop against knight. But yeah, it feels like black is okay. Earlier he got this weird structure with fe6, but now it feels like it's totally worked out for black. The knight is super strong on d5. Got this nice outpost. Not that easy for white to get in. He's going to try rook c1, but where is it going? Rook c8, rook b8 maybe, rook h8. In the meantime, black can actually take this pawn on b3. So this one could go both ways. This can actually get pretty double-edged. And if either side wins, then they're likely to win the match for their team. So rook b3, rook c8 on the board. As Matvishyn here, this game, likely going to be a draw. White's king, I think, should be very much in time, yeah, to deal with black's pawns. Okay, bishop takes f5 played. Maybe he at least covers this one with bishop c2. But then knight e6, knight c5. Bishop c2 feels like the only try. 10 seconds for Matvishyn. Now it looks like direct the draw. Knight e6, knight c5 takes on b3. Knight e6, king here. Knight c5, king down. Well, maybe king f3. And then king here. This would still be winning for black. White's king needs to reach d2 here in one move, but that's not happening. So king f5, knight c5. No, king f3 on the board. Oh, now knight c7, king e4. But how does black make progress from here? Yeah, just knight b5. Now we can threaten to take twice on c2. King takes d4, king d2 would be a draw. So yeah, looks like white is going to hold this one. No real chances left here. Okay, king e2 played. Oh, hold on. King d1, but king b2, yeah, it just stops the pawn in its tracks. So this one definitely going to be a draw, which means it all comes down to this game for this match. Sorokin against Targan. Sorokin managed to get his rook to the 7th rank. Bishop also very active here. So this could get a little unpleasant. Wait, but bishop takes b6? What's going on here? Rook b4? White is going to have to trade rooks here. If the rooks come off, though, then the position is just dead drawn. The only way white can win this is like rook and bishop against these pawns, some checks. But here the rooks are getting traded, and looks like this match is going to end in a tie, because both of these final games are ending in a draw, and otherwise they're splitting the wins. Okay, Matveyshyn somehow ended up pawn down. Thankfully for him, this position is still very, very easily drawn. There's just no way for white to advance without allowing black to give up the bishop for the final pawn. You can try to cover the bishop, but by the time you organize that, the bishop just jumps to the other side of the pawn. And yeah, I expect black to hold this one very easily, even on 10 seconds. So this match then is likely going to be drawn between Gunadarma and Texas Tech University. In the meantime, let's check the top match out. UTRGV against Armenian State Institute. One game here already drawn on board 3. Going to the board 1 game. Wow, this one just got sharp. Grandmaster Gleb Dunin was nursing an extra pawn in this rook endgame, looking to win, sacrifices the f2 pawn. Black doesn't take it. White continues to give the pawn. Rook c4. Black finally takes it after all this time, but king b6, rook a2, a6, e5, and a7. White is advancing the pawn, and he's ready to just go king b7, followed by rook b6 check, rook a6. In the meantime, it doesn't look like black is fast enough with his kingside pawn. So this one looks like a win for white. Rook a5, he's got check, but king a6, and that I think is game over. Not enough time for black to hold this one. So a win there for Gleb Dunin. That scores a big, big point for UTRGV. I think it was already over here after rook b5. Black could try rook takes a7, but king takes a7. Black's pawns are just way too cut off to be able to do anything. Also winning was International Master Sean Rodrigue Lemieux for UTRGV, which basically clinches the match for them because they were able to score 2.5 out of 3 already with this win by black. Let's just quickly see what happened here. Looks like black was just a little bit more active in this endgame and managed to activate the rooks. Bishop e4, knight e4, a little bit better knight endgame, extra pawn. And black was able to bring the king in, now healthy extra pawn. And, managed to trade off the knights, king d4. And white resigned here in this losing king and pawn endgame. Black can go f4 now at any moment and just promote that pawn. Okay, so UTRGV wins this match 2.5 out of 4. Let's see, we have more games left. Chernenko playing white here against Antova from St. Louis University. Wow, what a position. Pawns on d2, e3. White is down 2 pawns and desperately trying to hold this one. Got the blockade going, but feels like black should be able to break through. Rook comes to c1 and promotes basically. Yeah, this feels like it should be winning for black. Let's see what's the result in the score. So far, St. Louis has scored 2 points. So SLU is winning 2-1 in this match against National University of Lvov, Ivan Franko. And rook c1, that'll do it. That'll do it. That's going to end the game. And looks like SLU wins this one as well. So they win their match 3-1. like we got another live game here. This is Mizzou against University of Maribor. Mizzou here has already won 3-0, so this is just the final game. Mizzou hoping to pick up another point, make it 4-0, but okay, that seems unlikely here. I think draw is most likely result, but okay, 10 seconds left. Anything can still happen. Okay, so let me refresh, because I think we're going to have some fresh standings soon while this last game concludes. No, what happened? Where'd White's bishop go? Oh no, just as we were looking at the standings, White hung the bishop, rook f5, rook e3 check, and Black is able to keep just enough material to win the game. Extra knight and pawn. And yeah, unfortunate for White, but Black is going to win this one as well, giving Mizzou the 4-0 sweep. Okay, folks, so here are the standings as this game concludes. I'm expecting it to finish like any second now. White just hoping for some kind of fortress, or stalemate. Definitely no fortress, but stalemate ideas, but no, it's not happening. The king has too many squares. Black can promote, and yeah, gives the queen. I think Black will be able to mate. Rook g1, cutting off the king. Okay, let's bring up the standings here. So 2 teams at the top, still with a perfect score, 5 out of 5. That's UTRGV, University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. A team against St. Louis University. A team survived some scares earlier. They'll be playing tomorrow in round 6. And we got a couple teams on 4.5, including Gunadarma University, Texas Tech University A team, and University of Texas Rio Grande Valley C team that is doing surprisingly well with 4.5 out of 5. A number of teams on 4, UTD, University of Athens, and so on. And then a ton of teams on 3.5. So folks, that's going to do it for this first day of coverage today. I'll be back tomorrow, likely with a special guest, Grandmaster Alex Lenderman. I think we'll be co-hosting the action with me tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Legendary world champion Kasparov will also be joining tomorrow's commentary in the first part of the day, so definitely tune in and don't miss his take on the action. We'll be watching some games live with Gary, which I'm sure will be awesome. And yeah, we'll be back with 4 more rounds of this tournament, the KCF University Cup, as yeah, the event comes to a conclusion tomorrow. So tomorrow's coverage will start once again 10 a.m. Eastern time, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific. And we'll see the last 4 rounds there. Got plenty of rapid action to go. Lots of team action. It's going to be pretty crazy as these teams face off in rapid chess in the final couple of rounds. Thanks everyone for tuning in. There will be another stream on Dojo here in just a bit. In just about half hour, actually, another tournament is going to be taking place. So if you guys want to play, stay tuned for that. But that'll do it for me, and hopefully I will catch you all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See you guys next time.